I've tried hack squats, I've tried belt squats. Today I thought, why don't I try leg press? It's in the same family of exercises, same family of movement. The idea that you can load your legs without stressing the core, biasing the quads, biasing the pushing component of lifting. And somebody that is always looking for some sort of a pull in movement. Whether I'm squatting or deadlifting, my intuition, my reflex is to pull, not to push. The leg press is a press. So I thought, why not? It's been a fair few weeks of me doing belt squats, and if I'm honest, it hasn't been the most fruitful period of training. I had a lot more success with the hack squat. I don't understand why. I've got some theories behind that. One of them being most prominent in my mind is the fact that when you're doing a hack squat, you are upright. You are not leaning over at all. There is a backrest, and that is guarding your back. And you push with your legs. With the belt squat, there is a lot of lean. And I tried not to lean, but I still lean. Because you are bearing weight on your own feet, where gravity, dictates where you're going to stand and how you're going to stand, I think I'm still using the same movement pattern as I'm squatting normally with a barbell. It's just the weight's in my hips. But I'm still leaning like the weight is on my back. So this is ingrained into my skull, severely, and I seem to always go into that lean no matter what. So something like a hack squat forces me to be in a certain position. I think that's where the success was for me. I hit that 215 basically the week after I stopped hack squats, which kind of makes sense. I kind of let some of that fatigue wash off, and then I was able to display the progress that I've done on the hack squat. With the belt squat, I've tried lots of different things. I've tried different stances, and I always seem to kind of fall back in the same groove. And it started to a little bit, I'm not raising alarms here, but it started to kind of irritate my hip again. Kind of like I am with the barbell. If I do a lot of volume with the barbell, same thing happens. My hips start to kind of get pissed off. And I suspect it's because of that leaning aspect to it. So this leg press idea, I thought, okay, I'm leaning there, but I'm not following gravity. This is a very artificial movement. So maybe I can position my feet in a certain stance where I can kind of push without the lean, if that makes any sense. So anyway, today I tried it. I didn't try the fluffy way like I have back years and years of me, messing around with leg press here and there. I haven't done a lot of it, to be honest with you. Ever since I discovered the squat has been kind of the primary thing of me trying to learn how to press with my legs. Today I had my ollie shoes, and I can't recall if I ever done it with ollie shoes, so that kind of felt a little bit better. And I went 1 plate instead of 10, 2 plate, 3 plate, 4 plate. I went up to 5 plate. I did 3 sets of 10 there. And I try to get depth with the leg press. Leg press is kind of an interesting thing to kind of get any sort of depth. So I always kind of feel not good when I'm doing this. Obviously, if you have ankle mobility issues, you're going to have trouble with it anyway. I think the best way to get depth with the leg press is to have a wider stance and let kind of your knees go towards your ears, basically, kind of to the side. That's the way you can kind of get around the belly and the hip restrictions that you might have, you just get into. So a narrow stance with the leg press is kind of difficult to achieve depth. But anyway, I went for it, and I had a really good crack at it. And I must say it felt pretty good. It felt really, really good. Now, the thing that was kind of restricting me the most is my groin. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but ever since I've done the last core day and I loaded up those sit-ups, my groin has been kind of feeling a bit weird. Almost like I've strained my left groin, left adductor from doing that. As we know, the adductors have a role in hip extension and hip flexion, depending on the angles that you find yourself in. So maybe I've kind of overdone it with the sit-ups. I don't know. But I definitely feel kind of discomfort when I'm going through the squats in my groin. And I've felt the same kind of way as I was deadlifting today, like the initial push off the ground. Those acute angles were upsetting my groin. So I over pushed it, basically. I used a 20 kilo plate behind my head, and I would have done something. At the time, it didn't feel too bad, but, it's been now with me for a couple of days now, and I've kind of struggled to squat effectively. It's always something around my hips, man. My normal hip pain is kind of on the outside, which I haven't had huge troubles with at all for quite a while, this year, basically. But now this groin is on the other side of that hip joint. It's just funny. It's funny to me how always something is in front of me. But the leg press kind of felt good. It didn't feel as bad as the free squats that I did today. It kind of felt good. I don't know. Sometimes you have that pain in a part of your body, and some movements kind of make that pain worse. You still feel the pain, but it's kind of bad pain. But then sometimes you do a movement for that particular muscle group and it feels painful, but kind of good painful, if that makes any sense at all. I don't know if I'm getting that across, but I've definitely done movements where, it kind of makes the tissue worse. Maybe there's like a big stretch component to it. I think the leg press wasn't a big stretch. It was just a load in a relatively short range. Maybe something like that. But the leg press felt good, man. It really, really felt good. I felt my adductors. And the weird thing is, man, I don't know if this is normal. I'm not an expert with leg press at all. I have very limited experience. But I'm feeling my glutes, man. I'm feeling my glutes. I don't know, man. I thought I had my feet placed quite low on that foot pad, whatever you want to call it, platform. And I'm still feeling my glutes. So, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. The hack squat was all quads. The belt squat was quads. Yeah, plenty of quads. But I felt adductors and I felt my hip flexors as well, which is probably why it was kind of pissing my hips off. With leg press, I'm feeling glutes. I don't know, man. We all kind of go into these exercises hoping we're going to hit quads. But when you think about it, there's a lot more going on in a squat than just quads. Obviously, if you're weak in the quads, you're hoping for quads to kind of pick up. But in a movement like the leg press, you're pressing, right? You're just pressing. So the idea is the muscle that's going to be the weakest in that position is going to be fatiguing first. So maybe my glutes in that particular part of range of motion is what's really kind of tapping out first, and that's why I'm kind of getting fatigued in my glutes. But it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I pushed it pretty hard today. It'll be interesting to see next couple of days how my body responds and where I feel soreness and where I feel tightness and do I feel good with the squats and whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I pushed really hard. The one thing that I found really astonishing with the leg press is that it felt awfully, and this is going to sound crazy, but it felt awfully like a front squat. The reason why I say that was, as I was doing the leg press, there was a huge fight in my lower back, a massive fight in my lower back, because my lower back wanted to curl up as I was going down with the leg press. I was fighting with my erectors and my core to keep my back flat on the pad. And I was grabbing my hands on the handles and I'm pushing down, and it was a big fight. Part of obviously the legs I need to extend. That was kind of the biggest part of the leg press. But the second part, maybe close second, was that I was really, really fighting to keep my lower back straight. Now, those feelings are very similar to how I feel when I front squat. When I front squat, obviously the upper back is involved, and that's a battleground as well. But I predominantly feel like a lot of pressure in my lower back, trying to keep it straight, trying to keep it upright. And so it felt a lot like a front squat. So after I did the leg press, I thought, let me go to the front squat and see, back to back to see whether it actually feels like that. And it did. It really did. So who knows? Maybe if I continue next few weeks messing with the leg press, whether the front squat starts to get better. Because I don't know, I might be completely wrong here, but they feel awfully alike in the sensation at the bottom. Awfully alike. So let's watch this space and see how it goes. Obviously, I'm going to see how the body feels. Hopefully the hips don't get pissed off, because it's a lot of glutes in this movement. There's quite a lot of quads as well, obviously, but my glutes were the ones tapping out the most, which is interesting. Appreciate you guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.